What's up, guys? Welcome back to another training vlog. This is a big week. This is a week 4 of our second to last block. So this is our heaviest week of this block, and maybe not the heaviest week of the prep. We'll see how things build up going into the meet. But obviously for the last block, the week 4 will be the week of the meet. And so we're not trying to blow our load too soon. You know what I mean? We gotta build momentum and build into the meet for our last block. And so yeah, but regardless, we're here in the present. We need to focus on today's session, and we just take it day by day, rep by rep, set by set. It's that simple. Okay, so today we have primary deadlifts, but first we have primer squats. I believe today we only have a single. It's pretty light. It's probably going to be around 550, 573 pounds, something like that. And then on deadlift, we're looking at probably around 740 to 760 pounds, depending on how we're feeling. I'm pretty confident today that we will be taking around 755, 760, which would be phenomenal. But we'll talk about the reasons why that would be really important for us later on in this video. Yeah, let's get to it. Just gonna hit a quick warm up. This is pretty much my go-to. Sorry, you guys can't really see me, but this is pretty much my go-to. It's literally just heel elevated goblet squats. I don't really have like a prescription to follow for these. I kind of just do what feels right. The reason why I do choose the goblet squats is because it's pretty easy positioning wise to find where I need to be in a squat, or to warm up the muscles that I'd be using in a squat and a deadlift. I do this for both deadlift and squats. But it's also nice because it's easy to load, and I can sit in this position and really get nice stretches and take my time. It's just easier for me to just take my time. I don't like doing a whole bunch of bullshit. Nice. The only downside to not wearing a shirt underneath is that bar really does rip the skin, but it's nice. It makes me feel alive, All right, 4 reds. Cool. All right. My knee sleeves rolled down, bro. Oh yeah. Can't make this shit up. All right. Okay, obviously very easy. We did make some technique changes and adjustments from last week's squat. Plain and simple, just, tech needed to change because it just wasn't working at the top end. We were just seeing a lot of positioning breakdown. So, obviously you guys will notice too the shoe change. John and I are pretty confident I can squat anything and anything. So it's more about comfort, strength, stability, depth. And historically, I've been able to achieve all of that in these, more or less. And so yeah, tweaked some positioning stuff, and that seems to be working. And we tweaked some programming stuff, which I think will work. We won't know until this Friday, but yeah. All right, guys. Squats are done. So now it's time to fire this shit up. All right, now we got deadlifts, and I've been seeing my primary competitors, what they're pulling, how easy they're pulling it. Fires me the fuck up, man. It fires me up. We'll see how we do today. We will make adjustments if we need to, but I'm very confident we will have the ability to exert our dominance into the earth and accomplish what needs to get done so that we can win nationals 4 or 5 weeks from now. All right, let's do it. We're gonna slip on our deadlift shoes. I never really strap up, but this is serious. It's time to get serious. I normally don't put on a belt for 3 reds, but since I may take limited warm-ups, today's a belt day. All right, but this is what happens though. So you saw how fucking fast this shit flew. So sometimes I'll take 3 reds, and for whatever reason, the way I pull slack, the way I set up, whatever, it just floats. But I can never achieve that same feeling after the set. It's very strange. But I'll take it. It's a good sign. So that was dumb easy. My top set today is probably going to be around my second attempt. So it's like, I know I'm going to have an opener that's a minimum of 650, right? So I should probably take that as a last warm-up because that's what I have to do meet day. So I think we're going to do that. And I don't know if it's the brightest idea to jump from 370 to 650 because I've done that as well. But I just feel like, is that worth it, you know? Unless I go 540, which is what my squat single was. Then we go 645, 650. Then we go 750. You know what? I like that. I do like that. I don't know if I love the idea of gassing myself, but I really think it's important for me to take what would be like an opener. Because even if it fucks with my top set, fine. We need to know what it's going to feel like meet day and make sure that we have the confidence we need to follow that schematic. So yeah, let's do that. There are greens there. So this is like 528. So we went 375, 528. We'll go 645 maybe, 650-ish. And then gotta get that iron claw chalk. We just need a light application, you know, nothing serious. And then we'll make our jump. And I like the idea of 650 because that might also tell me where we're at for the day. Okay, pretty easy. I'm kind of happy I took that because my technique wasn't like 100% in, and that's good. We want to make sure that we are giving ourselves the opportunity to notice like, okay, that needs to change. That was good. And then move forward. So there I didn't get my quads in as much. Yeah. So I was 650. You know, speed was there. It didn't feel as strong as I would like it to, but it's kind of to be expected considering like how beat up I am right now. So now it's just gonna be a matter of what we're gonna take today. Do we want 750? Do we want 760? I might meet myself in the middle there and go 755. Oh. Okay, so 760 is loaded. We're going to take some time to just chill and lock in, focus, dig deep, and we're going to do it. As you can see, I got pretty in the zone. I'm pretty happy with that, but I'll save the talking for later in the video. We still got work to do. I have 3x3 back down, RP 3 to 4. So that means I'm probably going to be working with like 464 maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe even less, honestly. Yeah, maybe even less. I don't think I'm going to go as low as 3 reds, but it's possible, dude. RP 3 to 4, what the fuck am I supposed to do with that? You know what I mean? And it's no disrespect to my coach, John. It's just deadlifts, back downs, he knows. Like, I will pull back to 1 red. I don't give a fuck. So he's playing a dangerous game by telling me RPE 3 to 4 because I just may not even deadlift. That would be RPE 3 to 4. 3x3, RPE 3 to 4. We're going to take a first set with 210. This is actually way heavier than I probably would go for an RPE 3 to 4. But the cool part is we've got 3 sets. And because it's RPE, unless your coach specifies or a program specifies, you don't necessarily have to stick with the same load for the RPE because, in my opinion, that would kind of defeat the whole fucking purpose of RPE, right? It's like you need to maintain the RPE. Like the prescription is exertion, not load. So if you stick with the same load, ignoring the degree of exertion, or at least let's say like the increase in exertion, then you should have just went with fucking exact load anyway because you're completely ignoring RPE. You get what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it. Unless you're given like a fucking note that says, listen, dumbass, okay, you need to make sure that you pick a weight that slightly undershoots on the first set. That way you are able to maintain the RPE across sets with the same load. You know, if I were programming someone and that's what I wanted, I would tell them that. But anyway. All right, first set of 3. Let's see how this goes. Now, was that RPE 3 to 4? I mean, certainly wasn't like RPE 8, you know? But is it heavy enough to be like, do I really want to push this? I mean, we have the plates. We might as well just make the adjustment. We're going to go down to 440, I think. Yes, you can build a lot with a deadlift, but if you're trying to build strength with the deadlift while also peak your deadlift, it will never fucking work because it's just too much fatigue. At least for me, the way I'm built. If you're somebody who has super long arms, crazy deadlift leverages, for example, somebody who can't squat more than 700 pounds but can deadlift over 800, yeah, okay, no disrespect, but come on. So that's pure leverages, right? So if that's the case, you can probably handle a fuck ton of deadlift volume because your muscles really aren't working as much, right? Whereas on squats, those probably beat the shit out of you. Hence why there's such a big strength gap, right? Okay, cool. Glad we had that conversation. Can't wait for somebody to be like, why are you talking shit about my favorite lifter? Let's take this next set. And then we only have one more after this. This should be pretty easy, but we'll find out in a second. No music on right now. Oh, yeah, that was a good call. Nice. Cool. Done with deadlifts. This is exclusively available on Amazon. And yeah, you have to take my word for it. It's got, I think, at least 7 or 8 reviews so far. All 5 stars, all great reviews. And yeah, some images too. So yeah, I'm not trying to bullshit you guys. Like, I genuinely love this chalk. A lot of people ask me what the major difference is between my chalk and everyone else's. The chalk that I used to use was called Friction Labs. It's very popular. It's a climber's chalk. It's probably the most popular chalk on the market right now. And the biggest difference, I'm going to use them as an example because that's the one you probably know of. The biggest difference is actually how it's made. So my chalk is lab grade, lab made here in the USA. All other chalks, you know what, I can't say all. 99.9% of other chalks are made overseas. Asia, Taiwan, you know, I mean China, Taiwan, Japan maybe, Pakistan maybe, you know, but all overseas, okay? So that's number one. Number two, theirs is not made in a lab. Mine is. So that means mine is lab grade. That means mine is pure magnesium carbonate. Theirs is not. Now, what that means in application is my chalk is drier than almost any other chalk you'll get. Most other chalks are pretty moist, and you'll notice, especially as you sweat, it will get moist. And what I found is it creates a layer between your skin and the bar. And so the bar will slip because of that little layer of chalk that's now moist, right? And not like truly sticking into your hands. This stuff is so dry. Like, you can literally see it. Like, it's literally, it's in my hand, bro. Like, it's not fucking, that's not going anywhere, right? Like, look at that. Right? Now, when I apply my chalk, take a good heaping scoop and I really work it in, And bro, I don't have to reapply at all. The only thing you'll have to worry about is things like your calluses ripping and stuff, because it is drier. So it will be a little bit more abrasive on your hands. But in my opinion, like I will take that any day of the week. And the reason why I started the chalk company, let's talk about it while I unload this. The reason why I started the chalk company was simply because I found that on my third attempt pulls and second attempt pulls, the bar was slipping. And even in prep, I found way too often that the bar, I just couldn't hold it at the top long enough. And some of that's grip, some of that's starting position, you know, your quads pushing it out as you lock it out. But even with baby powder, guys, I'm not kidding. Like I would literally find myself with like 740, 750, and I'd be like, dude, like this bar is, I literally feel this slipping. I cannot hold this for more than like 2-3 seconds. Like I need them to give me the down command. And I hated that feeling. So I figured, you know what? It's something I can control. I think a lot of lifters probably have this problem, and I want to be able to bring this product to market, one that I can trust, a training tool that I can trust to be great when I need it to be great. And that's it. That's literally the only reason. So I just felt like the chalk out there wasn't good enough, and I wanted my own because I wanted at least control over the quality of the product. You know, if this chalk, honestly, if I find this chalk in competition just ain't working, guess what? I'll fucking make a new formula. Like it's that simple, but at least I'm in control over the process and I'm not at the mercy of what these other companies are doing. So that's why I made it. All right, enough fucking yapping. I'm gonna shut this, re-rack, and we'll do our core. I forgot to say that I also do my glute bias extensions. I prefer to do them on like an actual 45-degree back extension machine, but I don't have one of those. Easy reps. 9. Yeah, so as you can see, easy, quick reps. Try to be relatively explosive during the concentric, obviously, and short range of motion, just looking for the glute contraction. And I can't really get too much of a stretch in the lower position because of the, you know, it's not a 45-degree angle, so I can't hinge a lot. Or not, it's not that I can't hinge a lot. It's that the greatest resistance is obviously at the top, whereas on a 45-degree, the greatest resistance would be like here, and that's where I'd kind of want it because that's where I'd be fully stretched in my glutes. So it's a little annoying. It is what it is. I lost track. Okay, felt like 9 or 10. We'll do an extra rep next set just in case to make up for it, in case we didn't actually hit 10. But one more set. You know, truthfully, it's been a little tough because, you know, I do everything on my own, and you know, I don't have like a normal job per se. I hate using the word, but I am like an entrepreneur, you know, and my job is essentially to find opportunity to monetize solutions. And you know, I could take anything, and my job is basically to find a way to find someone who has a pain, who has a problem, and then give them that solution, whether I create it myself or someone else did, and I'm simply matching it and bringing those two together. But the downside is, you know, there's no guaranteed money. Everything is on you, and nothing works unless you do. Let's hit this last set, and then we can break it down a little bit. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Did 12. I wanted to do 11 because I wasn't sure if I hit a full 10 last set. So I figured if I'm doing 11, might as well just do 12. And then if I'm doing 12, we might as well just do one more for good luck. So that's why we did 13. Fuck, I just forgot that I have the other shit. All right, let's just get it done. We'll just go right into it. You can do these in a variety of ways. But for right now, I'm gonna mix and match, but usually I go way heavier. But again, it's not that it's a deload week. It's just that for my accessories, I try not to completely kill myself because the real focus is in main movements. During a week 4. So even on these, I'm not counting. I'm just looking for a feeling. And I kind of, normally I'd go until I can't really go anymore. But given I have squats, primary squats in 2 days, I don't want to fry my hip flexors. So I basically stop right when I start to feel my abs fatigue enough to the point where my hip flexors have to work a little bit harder. As soon as I start to feel that, I'll give it a rep or 2 and I'll stop. So I usually keep my rest periods pretty short for these. But anyway, yeah, business is tough, running your own stuff when you're also trying to be the best in the world as an athlete. The benefit is that powerlifting, unlike any other sport really, aside from a few, you can practice exactly how you plan to play, number 1. Number 2, your practice is your play. So, if you were a football athlete, you'd have lift, you'd have film, you'd have possibly 2-a-days in terms of sessions, like practice, So you'd have a lot in order to prepare for game day. Whereas in powerlifting, you don't have any of that. Like your lift, your training is literally your performance, So that's the trade-off. Now the huge downside to it all is that the reward really isn't there. Like nobody's handing you a check, These sponsors don't pay a lot unless you're like Sam Sulek, Sebum, these top athletes. Every company's different, of course, and depending on your following and how many sales you can bring in for them. But sponsors, it's terrible to rely on sponsors for money because they can take it away like that. Everything is bottom dollar. They don't actually value you. They don't actually care about you. Truthfully, I know that sounds a little earth-shattering, but they're a business, bro. They're a business. They're profit-driven. Of course, that's going to be the case. And if you are a business, you have to think like that as well. Now, it doesn't mean you have to be unethical and inhumane. Not at all. Although most companies are like that, despite what they say. However, it does mean that you have to look out for yourself because other people aren't going to do that for you. People will try and take advantage of you. That's the truth. That is kind of like their job. When they're negotiating with you over contracts and stuff, their job is to get you to give them the most amount of value for the least amount of money. That's their job. And your job is to try and give them value for the most amount of money, basically, right? And that's the negotiation. Like that's what it is. And I think a very good negotiation, a good deal, is when both people walk away a little unhappy. However, a lot of times what happens is companies take advantage of new athletes, young athletes, people coming up in the sport, people with new audiences, whatever, and they convince them to be grateful for free shit. And that's basically it. You should just be grateful that we're using you and da-da-da-da. And, unfortunately, a lot of these companies have a ton of leverage because there's a lot of competition in the space. It's oversaturated. And, you're just a number to them, really. There's always going to be another athlete, another star, And so you don't have as much leverage unless you can start to really carve out a unique niche and brand for yourself. Then you have leverage. Then you have power. And that's why, to me, I've shifted this year a lot of my focus from sponsors to my own stuff that I own, businesses I own, whether it's the Chalk, my training app, something else I'm working on, a creative project, which I can't really talk about yet. And it's harder that way for sure. Way more risk, costs a lot of money. Truthfully, I'm basically living paycheck to paycheck because all of my money goes right into my businesses. But I do believe it will all pay off. Hopefully, I trust. Good. I was going to do one more, but I started to feel my hip flexor really light up. We got one more set there. But anyway, yeah. So, it's not to say I don't work with sponsors, but you guys may notice I only have like 2 sponsors, 1 partnership. Okay. We definitely could have pushed more, obviously. However, it's not ideal because that's not the goal right now. Steak is just finished cooking. This is a marinated flank steak. It's a lot. It's going to be a lot. We're not going to eat this whole thing. We just need about 8 to 9 ounces of it. Yeah, that's 14 ounces. So that's fine because I can obviously chef this up and save some for later. Let this pan soak. We're gonna get started on eating some of this steak though, because it took me a while to cook. I usually don't cook steak like this. I usually buy a really, really lean filet mignon, and then I slice it up into thin slices and pan sear each side, and then eat it like that. Takes not even a full 5 minutes to cook. Tastes really good, easy to put on bread if you want to, or chop up and put into rice or something like that. Whereas this takes a lot longer to cook, and sometimes it's hard to get it right, you know, because it's such a thick cut. And this is actually a really fatty cut, to be honest with you. This is flank, so it's not going to be nearly as lean as what I'm used to. And I normally don't eat this much of a fatty cut. That doesn't even make sense, but you get what I'm trying to say. However, I forgot to go out and get lean meat. I'm going to save chicken and ground turkey for later. I'd rather just get in some red meat now. And I saw this in the fridge, so I figured why not just use it up instead of spending more money and going out and getting, you know, a leaner cut. This is fine. Most of the fat melts off anyway in the pan, and it's not like it's super fatty. It is, you know, pretty lean. The most important thing is that I get in at least 8 to 9 ounces, because that's going to be my 40 to 55, maybe even 60 grams of protein depending on the steak. Yeah, and that's really important. I want at least that per meal. And I'm saving my protein shake for after cardio. Cool. Let's check in on the sweet potato. All right, guys. So I polished off all that steak. All that's left is sweet potato. I have no idea how much this is. I'm not even bother to weigh it. Okay. All done with the sweet potato. Pretty solid meal. We're going to do our cardio, and I'll talk to you about the training during cardio. So, the session, how did it go? I think it went really well, honestly. I think to date, it is the best and strongest deadlift session I've ever had in prep. This is the first time ever in prep I have deadlifted more than 750 pounds. This is the second time in my life I've ever lifted over 750 pounds. The first time was at Nationals last year, 771. And since then, I've hit 750 in training, going into NAPF. And at the meet at NAPF, I didn't need more than 744 or so to total 901, so we didn't take it, which actually sounds wrong, because originally the goal was to just go for broke on the third, but because of how squats went, we were expecting more out of squats, and we got tanked by that. So, you know, we kind of had to really secure that 900 barrier on the third, which even then, still a little bit of a stretch. But on that day, we definitely had like 915. Anyway, that's not what this is about. The point that I'm trying to make here is, this is a great milestone. Not only was it really smooth, competition standard, we held it at the top, but this is the first time I've hit 760 ever in training. So this, if all goes well and we do the right thing in terms of how we go about fatigue management and building momentum next block, I mean, we are on pace for an 800 pull, which to me is not surprising, you know? Like, to me, it's like, yeah, I mean, that was always the goal for this meet. Minimum was 804, 801, whatever it is in kilos, or in pounds when you're doing it in kilos, you know? 365 or 362 and a half, whatever that is. So yeah, I'm fully prepared, excuse me, fully prepared to load that. So that's why this session was so important, because historically, how do I explain this? My first Sheffield, right? I deadlifted 750 easily. My best deadlift that prep was like 722, I think, a hard 722, maybe 738, something like that. We peaked really well. My second Sheffield, my best deadlift was a pretty, not crazy hard, but RP9 738 single, I believe. Maybe 744, I don't remember. We hit 760. So I lied, actually. This is my third time hitting over 750. Second Sheffield, we hit 760, I believe. Then, going into nationals, we hit the most we had ever hit in prep, which was 750. And it did not move and hold like today's did with 760. That was going into NAPF. And so now, to hit 760 smooth like that, glory to God. I mean, truly, really, really good sign, because my deadlift usually gets a decent amount out of the taper. So we'll see, man. We'll see. If nothing else, we at least know we can reliably conventional pull a minimum of 340 kilos, which would not be enough to win. But that puts us in a good spot, you know? So, yeah. And what's great about today is we did what would most likely be done in competition. So like, we took 650 as the last warm-up. That would be an opener potentially in the meet. We made the jump straight to 760 and got it. That would be a reasonable jump for a second in a meet for me. So, and granted today, did I have tons of extra gas? No, but it makes sense, you know? I mean, I'm still peaking, haven't tapered, you know, so it makes sense. But what I will say is, you know, if on a second temp we take 750, 755, I mean, bro, if things go the way I believe they can on squat and bench, that's a nasty total going into a third pull. Nasty. So yeah. So I think it went well, you know. Chalk held up great. This is my first time ever lifting this heavy with this chalk. So far, obviously my favorite chalk ever. I did notice my right hand on this side, a little bit of slip, but not terrible. I think it's two things. One, I gripped the bar so that there was a little bit of skin fold here. And what happens is, that means that I didn't pull enough slack out of my hand. And so because of that, that bar, if it has any space at all, will slip and grind up against that callus and then done. As opposed to the bar just simply being here and it like hooks, your fingers kind of hook around it. There's that. But then also too, I'm not using any baby powder. Like, you know, usually in a meet you're using baby powder so that bar slides right up the quad. Whereas today, you can see it, there's friction between the quad and my hands holding the bar. That will push the bar out. And yeah, historically, I shit you not, historically, I've never been able to pull this type of weight like that, as clean as I did, and hold it as long as I did, ever. NAPF 750 in prep, as soon as I locked it out, held it for like a second, started to slip, came down, honestly. So, and anytime I previously attempted 750, same shit. So this is a great sign, you know? But yeah, I'm excited. We've got 4 or 5 weeks now till nationals. Everybody is looking ridiculously strong. I don't keep up with a lot of my competitors, but I kind of like support from afar in a way, you know? I want the best for them. I want them to show up as strong as possible because iron sharpens iron, you know? We're not going to war. We're not killing each other. Although that might be the mindset each of us adopts rather, when we're actually competing because we want to bring the most out of ourselves. That's not how I view them day to day, so to speak, if this makes sense. It's kind of like you flip a switch. And I think that that's important. That's the only way you can create a healthy balance. Because if you lived your life with that degree of ego and just, what's the word? I don't even know. Animosity and all that, no, good luck. You'll be in jail. So you can't live life like that, but you certainly can flip the switch when the setting and the environment calls for it. You know, kind of like Bruce Lee said, be like water. You mold to your environment, you go with it. It's kind of like that. If you stay rigid and you're who you are all the time, probably not gonna be great. It's also gonna be exhausting. So, and you also probably won't learn. You know, I've learned a lot from my competitors. So yeah, so I want the best for them, and mainly because I respect them so much. I know how much work they're putting in because I know how much work I'm putting in. I know what it takes. Yes, I want it. Yes, I truly believe I will win. However, remember, it's not about me. It's about him and my work, my effort to glorify him. And so the ego is taken out of it, you know? It's I'm pursuing greatness simply because it is my obligation to do so. If I've been given a gift, it would be ungrateful of me to squander it and to not do something with it. So that's how I see it. But anyway, I support from afar. Everybody looks super strong and super motivating, super inspiring. I think we are going to have a disgusting nationals. I genuinely think it will be a bloodbath. I am coming to dominate. Make no mistake about it. I trust they are going to do the same, that they are coming in with that same mindset and that same approach, and that's great. But I am absolutely coming in with the mindset of I will. It has already been, I have suffered long enough. I have lost long enough. I have fallen short long enough. This is it. This is the time. I will load, mark my words, I will load whatever it takes to win Nationals and Worlds 2025. I will give every ounce of myself to each movement, each attempt. If I don't make it, despite giving everything, that's soul crushing. It is what it is. I will get better. I will rise again, and I will come back stronger, as I always have. But I truly believe in my core, it's my time. And it's not this sense of like trying to talk shit, trying to say that I'm better than anyone or I'm the best, whatever. It's not even about that. It's just when you've given so much to something and every day that passes is another day in the shadows, never truly getting to stand in the sun, never truly getting to reap the rewards, never truly getting to see the fruit of your labor come to fruition. I don't even know how to describe it. Like, I really don't. So this is it. I am 100% all in. And I truly believe we are bringing our best package to date. And I can say that confidently. Even if we lose or we fall short, message ain't gonna change. I'm bringing my best package. There's no excuses. Everybody's got aches and pains. Everybody's got stress. I mean, I got a lot of stress, man. I've been praying a lot lately because I got a lot going on, and I do feel the weight. I'm not gonna lie to you, truthfully. And I don't know about anybody else, but I do think about giving up a lot. I do think about the negative thought patterns that circle around self-doubt and despair, you know? But that's the enemy. And, you know, I'm saved, so I understand the enemy's lies better now. The only person who could defeat me is me. That's it. The enemy knows what God has planned for me, so the only way he can steal that from me is by making me defeat myself. Once you recognize that, that's it, man. Highs are high, you're here. Lows are low, you're here. Period. So, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I feel doubt just like anybody else. I feel fear, worry. Honestly, recently, complete vulnerability. I have felt like everything I'm doing, even if I accomplish it all, you know, open world champion, records, you know, multi-million-dollar businesses and moving here and all this stuff, does it mean anything anyway? Like, I genuinely feel like it wouldn't even fulfill me. Like, it's not big enough. Like, it just wouldn't be enough. Like, I can already feel that. And that's a scary feeling. So I've been praying about that. You know, God, lead me down a path that's worthy of my greatness, to fill me with purpose, you know, because I may be aiming too small. What's frustrating though, real talk, is even with how small I think I'm aiming, I'm still struggling. Like, despite how small it really is, I'm still struggling to do it, which is it can be so defeating to think like that. But, you know, it's this ebb and flow, it's this balance. I think that also keeps you humble in a way and keeps you grounded, and that's important. So I never really want to lose that, but at the same time, I need more wins. I really do. I need more wins, because for years now, I feel like I've been in the dirt, you know? I'm just being completely honest with you guys, you know? So I really do believe 2025 is the year that everything comes together. Everything I've been working on business-wise, social media, obviously athletic career, all of it. It's gonna come together. I know it will. And even more, you know, I'm looking at, I can't really talk too much about it, but some stuff in public speaking, I mean, the books, I mean, there's so much, but I truly do believe that, you know, not by might shall man prevail, for not by might alone maybe shall man prevail. And I do believe that. So, you know, I give it to him, and I'm just gonna keep fucking working. Put my head down and keep going. You know, I've got no excuses. I've got wonderful support system. I got my girlfriend, my family, 2 loving parents, still together, healthy, 3 younger siblings, healthy. What the fuck I gotta complain about? You know, I got all the tools. People have gone farther with less. So no excuses. We keep it fucking going. I just want to keep it 100% with you. So, you know, I don't want to like pose myself as some fucking know-it-all guru expert, only the highlight reel bullshit. That's why like I've been enjoying making the YouTube content, because I can be more real and down to earth with you guys. You guys can see more of the real stuff. And I remember growing up, I used to watch Christian Guzman, Arnold, Ronnie, CT Fletcher, you know, all these guys, Max Tuning, even Russ when I was really young. I would watch these guys on YouTube, and I always used to think like, man, like this is sick. Like I want to be like that, right? I want what they have. I want what they drive. Like I want their life. Like you guys know how it is. And to still feel like that now is crazy. Not necessarily about them, but you have even higher ideals and stuff. And you know, and you start to realize like as you progress in your craft, there are people who are looking at you in the way that you were looking at others. And so I think in that moment, you take on the responsibility of mentorship, of older brother. Now for me, it's kind of in my DNA, because I have 3 younger siblings, nobody older than me. So I take on that role a little bit more naturally, whether or not I'm good at it. It's a role I take on. But I think like you have the obligation to these people to show them the truth, to speak into them, to lead them. If you make a mistake, let them learn from it. You know, like, why not, bro? We're all trying to do the same shit. We're all trying to get there. So yeah, so that's why, you know, I want to open this all up. And I appreciate the YouTube stuff, whether or not it does well, you know. But yeah, man. So we'll see. But anyway, session went well. We've got 3 minutes left of cardio. Yeah, session went well. That free mindset ebook that's available, you guys can still check that out. I'm working on a revision for it. Chalk's doing well. The training app, I'm looking to really grow and scale. If you are a member of the training app, please give me your feedback. People have gotten phenomenal results with the training app. I'll see if I can throw up some of the testimonials, but one kid put 100 pounds on his deadlift in like 2 months. One kid put 50 pounds on his squat in like, what is it, like 4 weeks or 12 weeks. So it's crazy. Like people are doing really, really well. Lots of physique improvements. So I'm really happy with the results we're getting from these programs, which is great. But the training app altogether is awesome. And I'm just really hoping to expand that as the next several months go on. So yeah, if you're somebody who's really good at Facebook ads and YouTube ads, like actually good, you can hit me up and we'll work something out. Because I don't have the time to run it, but I'm running that shit now. Like I'm figuring that shit out now. But yeah, that's basically it. So next block, I think the plan will be build momentum into the meet, obviously. Squats, more exposure. Really handle that top end, fine tune the technique even more, which is good. Bench, keep building momentum. Deadlift, pace the fatigue well enough to make sure We're well adapted, but have plenty of gas to push everything to the limit at nationals. You know, my mindset isn't whatever the minimum necessary to win. I can't even afford to think like that in the 93s. In my mind, it's be prepared to have the absolute biggest fucking total in human history, undisputed. Meaning you're not breaking the world record by a chip. You're breaking it by 20 kilos, you know, that sort of thing. So that's my mindset always, whether or not that comes to fruition. It's always where my head's at. So it's the same thing going into this meet, you know? Yeah, I'm very excited to see how the rest of this week goes. Last week's primary squat wasn't great. Wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. It was 716. It was deep enough, but like I said, tech just broke down. Wasn't happy with it. Kind of busted up my knee a little bit. So we made some changes, and so far already we're seeing some massive progress as a result of those changes. So really happy with that. And yeah, we will see where we end up by the end of prep. I really do think we're gonna be in a great spot. And man, dude, glory be to God. Like His will, not mine. If I win, I win. Lose, I lose. I'm grateful for who I'm becoming in the process. It sucks and it hurts, truthfully. Like, it really does. But I understand it's necessary. I never met a skilled sailor who sailed smooth seas. So, you know, you gotta be grateful for the hard shit. Problem is, the higher you aim and the greater you're trying to be, the more hard shit you gotta go through. I have been fucked over so many times, stolen from, so many times lied to, so many times misinterpreted, misunderstood, so many times. I've fallen short. I've made my own mistakes, poor reflections of my own character. It's hard. But I think the first step is to acknowledge it all. Acknowledge the shortcomings, acknowledge the pitfalls and all of it. Assess and then move forward. Create a battle plan to just get better. It's okay. There's no shame in being weak. The shame is in staying weak. And so you have to just aim to get better and work on that. So that's what we are doing. And I'm very confident that everything will pay off. On that note, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this training vlog. If there's any content that you're looking to see in the future, any critiques you have on how I've been filming and editing, whatnot, whether it's educational or the training vlogs, please let me know, because I really do appreciate the feedback, and that's how I'm going to improve everything moving forward. All right, guys, I will catch you in the next YouTube video. Peace out.